Good morning, friends from around the world. I'm overjoyed to have you joining us again on this fine day of life. We are here in the Pacific side of Costa Rica. It's a beautiful day. I'm experiencing extreme bliss. Unfortunately, you guessed it, my co-host Carly is not here today. She's not feeling well. She's sick. So, Carly, I hope you get well soon. And so you guys will have to just put up with me. But we are so happy to have you tuning in. Today we have an outstanding interview coming up with two very inspiring individuals. This is Joris and Sanne that are going to be tuning in from Belgium. And they have started on a journey to create, I don't know if it's a movement, I don't know if it's an organization, I'm not sure exactly what this is, but they are unleashing people's potential around the world through workshops, retreats, events, and they are really inspiring people through their YouTube channel. I heard about these guys from some close friends of mine because they're coming to do a retreat in Costa Rica, and I checked out their YouTube channel, and I was just really amazed to watch their videos, and I find them to be so inspiring, and I don't know. I included the link in the post to their YouTube channel, so definitely check it out. These are two light workers, I think is the best word, creating inspiration and good vibes and helping people get out of their comfort zones and live extraordinary lives. So I'm very excited to call them into the show here in just a moment. But, I want to tell you a bit about Karmatribe in case you haven't heard. We're a community of people helping each other for free around the world, already in over 60 countries. And we do this through the website karmatribe.com. And on there, you can offer any kind of service that you would like to offer to the world. And you can request anything that you need help with. And you will see that there's already over 1,000 free services offered. And for example, there's people offering all kinds of language classes and graphic design and business consulting. And there's people requesting furniture and rides and meditation tips. And there's many different things going on there. Our philosophy is that everyone has unique gifts. And we want to connect people together to share, to put their gifts into action, and to connect with people, to help each other, and to request help, and to literally start creating a more beautiful world through action. Karma means action. So our guests today are aligned very much with this philosophy. So, folks, let us know where you're watching from. It is such a delight to have you tuning in. Oh, look at this. We've got Yolanda tuning in. So awesome to see you guys are connected. Hope to see you in Costa Rica. Woo! Yolanda, so great to have you tuning in from Netherlands. She's the one who put me in touch with these people. Connor is tuning in too. This is insane. How did Karmatribe hook up with Joris and Sanne? And he sent us an avalanche of messages here. Crazy this is happening. Looking forward to hearing what y'all have been up to. It's pronounced Joris and Sanne. Thank you, Connor, for clarifying that. Thank you for tuning in, old friend. Connor is a dear, dear friend who we played rugby alongside each other around 10 years ago and remained deep, deep friends ever since. And we also have Elena tuning in from Dallas. Good morning, Elena. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. So, without any further ado, it would be a delight, a privilege to welcome Joris and Sanne into the show. Welcome.
Hi, good morning, David.
Hello. Good.
Yeah, we're really happy to be here with you.
Yeah, what a great introduction.
Well, thank you, my friends. So great to have you. Could you please introduce yourselves a little bit and tell us about this journey that you have embarked on of unleashing the potential of people around the world?
Absolutely. A very short rundown. We both had the privilege to travel for a 4-year international organization where we also met Connor and Yolanda. And after 4 years being in that surrounding of inspiring people, of getting new insights all the time, we came home and back to Belgium. And it was a good time to kind of like fall back on ourselves, but we also realized we really missed that environment. And we realized if we want this, we need to create it as well. So that's where we started. We organized this weekend. And from that, we created +1, where we already brought people together to unleash their potential. And we felt that we wanted to take this further because it's really a passion. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've read for so long, like all those quotes about like just follow your passion, and I think for a long time, I think I've known like growth of others is so important for myself, and but the only way to be able to start doing workshops on a topic like this is by just actually doing it ourselves, like living our dream and doing actually what we care so deeply about. So that's the journey that we're about to do. So my name is Joris, and this is Sanne.
I'm Sanne. And we'll be traveling for the rest of 2018, going to different places to organize, like you said, retreats, workshops, anything to connect people together and also to connect them back to themselves. Like, what do they want out of life? What is the authentic expression of who they are?
I want to ask you about that. So what is the potential that we each have? What is this deep, powerful, like, I believe that we each have unique gifts, but I would like to hear your perspective on what is it that we each have that we could bring to the world that perhaps is kind of lying dormant in people?
Well, the way I like to visualize it is that there's the core layer that we have within us is like super colorful. You could see it as like a body painted human being, and every person has different colors, different format, like different just designs on them. And we're all born being very uniquely different. Mm-hmm. And it's you also notice it when we're kids, we're very creative, we express ourselves very easily. And then as we grow up, we often learn things, the beliefs of maybe I'm not good enough for this, or the belief that I should be doing this. And we start kind of adapting ourselves to what other people expect of us. And where we want to get people to come back to is that to go back underneath the layers of who is it that I actually am, if I don't need to constantly think about who I should be. Because then automatically you get to your potential. You get to that part of you that just wants to express itself. And that's our potential. And I think from there, we all have something beautiful to share with others.
Yeah, I love the word alive. It makes you come alive. And I think it's kind of hard to even put in words because it's this feeling that we have. It's like when you're like in the moment, in the zone, like there's so many ways of saying when that full potential is coming out. And what I would like to contribute is like, I think the core is knowing who you truly are. And then, but it's hard to just do it on your own. So you need a layer around that, and that's other people, because the people around you, they influence you with ideas, inspiration, like whatever is going on in your life. They're your biggest inspiration. They're kind of the reflection of who you are. And then there's an even bigger layer around of like complete environment that you're at. That's why we're gonna travel around the world, because we know that cultures in different countries and the people that we're gonna meet, and when we come to Costa Rica and meet you, like that's what collaboration is about, and we know then our creativity comes out in the best possible way.
That's amazing. So many beautiful things that you said there. So many things to talk about.
That's why we're coming. That's why we get to meet in person.
Yeah. It's there's an ancient Chinese saying that always comes to my mind, is that it takes two to see one. And it's very hard to come to deep realizations if you're just by yourself in your own head, because you begin to really not be sure, like, if you're seeing things clearly or not. And having someone to bounce ideas off of and kind of have that kind of resonance of, you know, basically like sharing with someone and experiencing connection and getting another perspective can really help you grow. And so I totally agree with what you said there about having the support system. And like, would you say that traveling is a highly beneficial thing for anyone? Or what about people who are a bit more limited in mobility, or they have to take care of someone and can't really travel? Like, what are some other ways that you might be able to find that support? Or yeah, I don't know. What do you recommend for someone who's a bit stuck behind their fears and doesn't necessarily have the ability to travel in this moment?
No. I think that's a very valid question, especially even beyond that, there are certain people who maybe have the ability to, but who don't feel that appeal to traveling. And that's just as fine and just as valid. I think it's something that works for us, works for certain other people. What they always say, though, is no matter where you go, you always take yourself with you. Like, and the biggest journey we can make is a journey within. It's to discover ourselves, because oftentimes when we discover ourselves, we get a bigger understanding of other people and how they function. And there's so many beautiful ways of connecting back to who you are, but just by creative things, like anything that is a creative outlet is a beautiful way of just exploring and expressing. Same with anything kind of like meditations, but then also within your own communities. Probably there are people who are kind of looking for similar things. So finding ways online communities are great to connect to other people. Maybe just connecting 2 or 3 friends and seeing if they have other friends. That's how we do it. We ask people we know, and we're like, who do you still know who could also join? You don't need to leave your home setting. You can just do it in your own surroundings. Yeah,
and what I would add on is, like, traveling, it's only one way, but what's traveling actually means for me is that for me it means also stepping out of my comfort zone. And when am I in my like daily routines and like what I do every day, it's kind of hard for me to be triggered with new ideas, and growth comes for me much harder. So I think even when you're at home or less mobile, there's plenty of ways that you can change up your daily routines and start small. It can start like with how you wake up, or like choose a different way to work and be inspired by that. Or there's so many small examples to step out of your comfort zone, because only you know what you truly need. But I love that like journey within, because that's something you can always do.
Yeah, and I love that. It's I think sometimes people look at what we do and they're like, oh, it's a big step. It doesn't need to be. Any step is valid. Anything you do that feels good for you, that's good.
Well, let me say hello to some of the people tuning in here. We have Alan saying hi from the Netherlands. Great to have you tuning in, Alan. Good morning, or good afternoon, rather, Rosewood, tuning in from the United Kingdom. So great to have you. This is awesome. Alan says, the journey to self is the journey. And he also says that one of his spiritual guides says that our potential is restricted because we have tamed our wild side to fit into society.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And Montserrat says, I think that one of the best feelings in life is to have the opportunity to share our gift with the rest of your brothers and sisters. Aw,
that's beautiful.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like once you step outside of your comfort zone, you basically basically your comfort zone expands at that point, because you realize like your fears that were like walls around you start to break down, and your whole world expands, and what you thought was possible for yourself expands. But that's the thing about the comfort zone, is it's so hard to get out of it, because it's like there's almost like a leap that you have to take, because like it's just very uncomfortable, and most people just like really have difficulty changing like the certain status quo. Mm-hmm. And even in physics, an object at rest tends to remain at rest. So let me ask you, for you guys personally, how is it, like, what was the turning point where you suddenly decided, to like follow this aha moment and actually decide to start this project, Unleash the Potential? Like, was there a certain tool that you used, or how did you like take that jump? Because it's very inspiring how you jumped into like really dedicating yourself to what you most love, which is what we all need to do.
Well, I think it is good to know, like, I'm so lucky that we have each other in that process, because I don't know if there's like that one moment, because these decisions don't come from like, hup, now it happens. It's actually this process over time where it gradually builds, and slowly but surely I felt more ready for it. I do think, like, for me, like coming back, like we traveled already like for 4 years with that organization, and we came back and we were home and we needed to settle into a new environment. And for me, it was definitely a difficult time, just like finding ways to reconnect with people again. And then there was this one day that I came with this idea of like, what if we could just like get all of the people that we met in the last years, if we could get them all together in one space, because they should all know each other. Like, how great would it be that all these friends are like suddenly intertwined? And that was maybe like an epiphany moment. Like, okay, we sent out a message to so many people and asked them to come to a farm in Belgium. And I was like so surprised that like so many people came. We had people from like 10 different countries come. And I think that weekend did give me this momentum feeling. Like at the end of this weekend, we were like, okay, this should not end here. So we continue, set up an organization and continued with activities after that. And I think that was a crucial feeling for me, because I felt the support of friends, and I think that's how slowly but surely the idea grew. Like, what if we could do this like full time? And like slowly but surely that question kept coming back. Like, yeah, like what would it be? And then all fears kicked in. Like, it was like, oh, yeah, but what about the finances? And like, oh, but I have a job now. Like, what do I do then? And like, oh, we have our apartment, and like, do we leave it? There's so many things that come. And I think that's kind of how life works, is that I think when you are going in the right direction, sometimes there's like fears hitting you.
Yeah, and even the concept of what exactly we were going to do wasn't clear from the beginning. We have this big brainstorm sheet here in the kitchen that we just set on the floor with multiple knives, just like putting our thoughts out. But I do want to also emphasize, like, it's, for us in any way, it didn't start with, oh, this is our idea. We started with organizing that one weekend, not knowing what it would lead to. So sometimes that's enough, taking a smaller step, and then who knows who you meet there, and that will lead you to the next point, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I love what you're saying. It's so important to just get started, to like, if you have an idea for something that really resonates with you, to just organize it, and there's something to be said for just taking action. And like, for example, like, I was so surprised to learn that you're organizing a retreat here in Costa Rica, even though you've never been to Costa Rica. It's like, to me, what comes to mind is like the audacity, the balls. Like, why are they doing that? Like, I live in Costa Rica and I have a pretty good network here, and I've still been like kind of afraid to like set up the first, you know, in-person retreat or event of this nature. So I think the maybe the lesson from like your experience is like when you had that idea that appeared, you said, let's organize this first event. Let's call all these people that we care about and bring them together. And you just knew that some magic was going to happen from that. It seems like.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to also say that the same thing happened to me with karmatribe, of not really knowing what it was about, but just knowing that it felt right and organizing it. And for the first couple of years, I just really didn't even know how to explain it to people, because there's so many different sides to it. Like, if you have something that you love, it's a way to share it. If you have something that you need but you can't afford it, it's a way to find it. If you don't know how to help people, it's a way to find people that you can help. If you want to experience more connection, it's a way that you can find that. So there's many different levels to it. And I've been like just discovering what it's about, and recently realizing that it's about actually taking action. And also it's about bringing as many people into it as possible. And basically, like, the karmatribe project is going to have success proportional to how many people are involved in it. And so I just want to say, I think it's just so cool that you guys are embarking on this journey, even though you're not super sure like where it will lead. Mm-hmm. Many people make that mistake of thinking that you have to know where exactly you're going, but I think it's more like you have to know what feels right and what kind of atmosphere is the best for you.
Yeah. We notice, like, as we've gone through our own process of like this journey within, we also change. So with how we change, our plans change. It's a very natural thing. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense. We don't really know yet what we're doing in 10 years, maybe, because who knows how much we have evolved by then and changed.
Yeah, and something like not doing is also a decision. Like for me, that's like a good like reminder as well. And then the second part is like, indeed, like sometimes you just need to do, and it's amazing what then suddenly happens. Like for us, like we're doing this experiment of just like leaving, because we know that beautiful collaborations will come out of it. Like wherever we've traveled, we know like, oh, there's always so many great people to meet. And when people start recommending other people, like from one thing leads to another, and slowly but surely, like that's how it starts, and that's how things are created. And that, I think, is harder. For us, it was harder to just start in one place, despite the fact that we have a beautiful network built up here in Ghent, in Belgium, in the last year as well.
It's amazing. Yeah, it seems to me that it's not about the details of what you're doing. It's just about following your heart in the present and doing right now what feels the best, and then everything will blossom on the outside. From watching your videos, I know that you guys are going to be like so successful in this because you seem to just be really enjoying what you do in your videos. And it's the same with me. Like, this is why I know that karmatribe is going to be successful, because I'm having so much fun right now. In the same way, like, you guys are so authentic in your videos, and you also edit them with such love that that I know great things lie ahead for you. And I want to say, Delaney says, Joris and Sanne, dream team.
Delaney, that is a message.
Yeah.
Alan continues to pour in the blessings from the Netherlands. We have Caleb saying, these two people have changed and will continue changing the world. Love you both.
Caleb, he's wonderful as well.
Montserrat says, so inspiring. Oh my God, gracias, amigos.
Well,
greetings to Mexico.
Yeah, we need to say we have a beautiful support network of
yeah.
people that we really care about. So
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, our people has been beautiful for that. That's the organization we traveled with. Yeah.
Now, Connor brings up some questions here.
Ooh, I'm excited.
When do you encourage people to unleash their potential? When you encourage people to unleash their potential, are you encouraging breaking out of society's norms and expectations, or nurturing personal happiness with our chosen path? For instance, people with children, with debt, with limiting factors. From what perspective do you advise people? So this is a complex question, but I'm going to leave it in your hands. What would you advise people with like real limiting factors in their lives? Like he gave the examples of children and debt. From what perspective would you advise those people?
Yeah. Well, I think that's often a perception people get, especially by what we're doing, that it's our main goal is to get people out of the structures of society. And I feel that it just depends on the person. If there are people who do feel limited by those structures, then we do want to encourage them to kind of like at least experiment with the periphery of like how far can they maybe do a certain area outside of that? How far do they want to stay within? Because for every person that's different, and every phase of your life that's different too. Maybe the people who have kids now later will still take their chances of making a completely different like change in their lives. So it's again coming back to like, what is it that you can do to still find that fulfillment? Mm-hmm. Even if in certain ways you find yourself tied to a system or tied to other people, what can you still do within that to find fulfillment? To still go inside and surround yourself with good people. And for the people who have the option, who are like, no, society, the systems don't really work for me. Yeah, explore, find out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as long as you're, I think, aware, like become conscious of what you truly want. I think an important discussion, recently we also gave this workshop on just truly connecting. And I think one of the biggest things we shared is like, do you do things because you want to, or do you do things because you're supposed to? And if you're in this vibe of like, oh, I want to do this, then that society structure is not a negative thing at all. Because if you're doing what you want, great. However, we're coming across a lot of people who also have a lot of elements that say like, oh, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that, I'm supposed to, and like when people are using those words a lot, that's when it's a good exercise to just like truly look more within yourself and see like what is truly needed. And I think what we're about to do, it's quite extreme. I mean, we quit our jobs and are now leaving on a world tour. It doesn't mean that's what everyone should do. Absolutely not. And that's why we're also visiting different parts of the world to actually go to people and see like also what do they need in their community.
Yeah, that they can locally connect to each other. And one thing I want to add on is just, I feel there's also a big sense in many places that it always has to be more. And it's all about like being positive and going out there. And sometimes the movement that is most important for you to make is maybe for a while to do less and to accept all feelings. And so for every person, that's so different. So it's really about getting to know yourself and finding out what it is that you need in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that, guys. Yeah. It's not a specific activity, and the external factors can be interpreted in so many ways. Like, for example, having a child, maybe it could be the opposite of limiting. Maybe it could be like the most expansion causing thing in your whole life. Yeah. Similarly, like even with debt, maybe like you've always dreamed of like starting an organic farm or something, and the way that you can actually make it happen is to take on a debt which you have a plan to pay off. Then the debt is the thing that like enabled you to make it all happen. So I guess I agree with what you're saying, that we each have to look in our hearts and find out what we really want and find out our own recipe for just enjoying the present to the maximum, because then the future fruits always end up really good.
Yes.
Alan says, how do you manage the anxiety of a scarcity mentality and trust that things will be okay?
It's a really good question, and I don't for myself personally, it's kind of going in and out, and I don't have the full answer to that yet, because I think in that sense we're really lucky to have each other. That in the moment that one of us is having that fear of like, what if, even just personally for this like these next months of what we're doing, we definitely have our moments of like, oh, like, are we gonna be fine financially? Are we gonna? Is this gonna work? And it's good then to have the other person to kind of just push us forward. I think that helps a lot. And I just hold on to the moments that I just have a lot of trust. It kind of goes in ups and downs. I have moments that I feel so much trust because what we're doing is so connected to, it just feels so good gut-wise. Kind of like this real life mission. And so I hold on to that in the moments that I get into the scarcity feeling.
Yeah, and I've already noticed, like there was a lot of fears a couple of months ago, like, oh, like will this ever work out? And now that actually the decision has been taken, and we're just the plane ticket is booked, we're going forward. The retreat in Costa Rica is happening beginning of May. Like now that all those things are in place, like actually it has eliminated a lot of that fear. And now it's like, okay, so how do we make this work? And now we're in Costa Rica. What else can we do in Costa Rica as well? And slowly but surely, like other opportunities arise. And scarcity mindset is probably something there to like protect us, but then never underestimate the skills that you have and like forgoing something. And if you like, you truly want something and you just keep going, there's plenty of opportunities there if you seek out the help of others. And that's something I sometimes need to learn, is to ask help of others as well. I think that's a big lesson.
And then we get lucky to be connected to people like you, and those things boost us as well to believe like, oh no, this works.
Yeah,
There's out there, the scarcity might kind of disappears because we feel the benefits of what comes our way.
You guys are so cute, and it's nice also that you're a man and a woman working together on this. There's a certain like yin and yang to that, and you have you talked about like how sometimes you have to spring into action and sometimes you just have to like wait and be still and kind of like contemplate, and like those two dimensions really go together. And so
you word it really well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm like this ancient Chinese saying about meditation is like, when to meditate, like just follow your feet, like as you're walking, like you don't just follow like where your feet are going.
Yeah.
And so it kind of seems like that's what you guys are doing, because you're putting one foot in front of the other and just waiting to see like what happens. But since you're enjoying the process so much, it's going to lead you to good places. Like people tend to overanalyze exactly like where they need to go and what they should do and all this, but it's more about digging into what you love like right now, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went off on a slight tangent there, but
we fully relate.
Yeah.
Buenos dias, Aida. Qué bueno que te guste. She says, I love you guys. Saludos from Chile.
Oh,
Super
That's
nice.
awesome. Well, there a question that's really like burning in my mind is, what is a recommendation that you guys can give to me about how do you facilitate an event that really like allows people to feel safe and comfortable and start opening up and unleashing, and discovering their potential?
good question. I mean, we have organized quite some events, and I think the magic always happens in right from the start. I think it's creating such a welcoming atmosphere, because I think it's in the beginning always that we're like, what will this be? Like, oh, I don't know anyone. That's kind of, I feel always when people are like the least at ease.
for the safety is most important.
Yeah. So we try to like be like extra attentive, especially in that beginning period. And if some people are helping us out, like I definitely want to try to just with as many people be there to welcome people as soon as they walk in. I feel like it really helps as well if there's already things to do when people start, like just like the act of like pouring out your tea or grabbing a glass of water, like it just gets you up and moving, and other people are doing things as well.
And people have something to hold in their hands. It's really nice.
Yeah, for me, like a little bit of music helps as well. Like just that it's not dead silent. Like for me, like that's the worst when you arrive and it's silent. Yeah. And then
for the rest of the work, like for the rest of the event, I would say I value very much being able to be authentic. Because that makes you at ease, and people pick up on that. So when you're at ease as a facilitator, even when you're a little nervous, that's fine. But when you generally know, like, this is what I want to be doing, this feels right, people pick up on that and start matching your vibe in that way. And what we try to do at every time is also do things that it's not just talking, but we also have them experience certain things. And from that experience, they can draw their own lessons and conclusions.
Yeah, because I think it's so easy for us to hear these really great life quotes and things that we read in books, but it's actually, once we start experiencing is when the true honesty comes out. And then suddenly, like, we're confronted with how we really do things. Like suddenly we need to work together with other people that are present in those activities, or suddenly you need to do an activity that says a lot about you. And then like the reflection on that experience that you just had, like, wow, like that always generates such an information and a lot of things to talk about. And then even the right openness in any type of event or any type of workshop, then it leaves a lot of room for people to start connecting with each other as well.
Oh man, amazing. Man, I'm really looking forward to the day where I can be a part of one of the events that you facilitate.
Oh, I hope so.
So Connor asks, actually, can you explain a little more what you will be doing in Costa Rica? So yeah, please tell us a bit about the retreat that you have coming up.
Yeah, question. Connor, you're asking great questions today. We'd love to talk about it. Absolutely. Do you want to pick it up?
Yeah, so Costa Rica in general, we'll be staying for about 5 to 6 weeks. But then we have 1 week that we really organize a retreat. It's focused locally and internationally, so anyone is invited to come. And our idea is to give the mix of really just enjoying Costa Rican life. We'll be at a farm of a friend of ours, which borders the rainforest, beautiful area, very calming. And to also just enjoy local nature, local activities. It's a farm that's being built to an organic farm, so we'll also be able to use part of the food that's around. And at the same time, as we're doing that and also doing some of the more adventurous things like the whitewater rafting, going for hikes, also having these experiences of more workshops, of diving within and connecting with each other, so that it's not just I'm in Costa Rica, but I'm in Costa Rica and I'm really also gaining life insights and things that I can take home with me again.
Yeah, and the week is truly built up, like truly connect. So there will be a lot of, in the beginning, it will a lot of be about like how do you connect truly to yourself, and then we'll slowly build it up, like how do we connect more and more to each other as well, because there's so much insight that you can get also by working with others or what others are seeing of you, and then also like we want people to leave that week with a great intention for after as well, like, because it might be great that you feel that way in that week, but the objective would definitely be like, how do you take that to your home surrounding as well? And that's why at the end it will definitely also have like an important intention piece, like how do I start visualizing and how do I start working on things that will work for me in the longer run as well, things to take home.
Well, that's really amazing. For our viewers, I included the link to the Facebook event in the this post. So check it out. Message these guys if you have any questions about it.
Yeah.
sounds like an amazing opportunity and an amazing experience. And so yeah, thank you very much for being on the show today. We'll definitely be in touch. You've been very inspiring to chat with today, and keep up the amazing work. And thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, we're really grateful for the opportunity to talk to you as well. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's amazing what you guys are doing with karmatribe. It's great to already have a first encounter with Costa Rica this way. So thanks for organizing this.
My pleasure. Thank you very much, guys. Friends, be sure to also check out their YouTube channel because their videos are so beautiful.
Wow,
I also included the link in the post.
Oh, great.
So yeah, thank you guys. And now we are going to switch gears and do the favors of the week. So these are favors available on karmatribe.com. We've got some beautiful things happening right now. So for example, first favor of the week is an offer from Dean Lambrecht in Puebla, Mexico, offering organizing capabilities. He says, I'm a project manager traveling around the globe. I can help organize work teams, individuals, cooperatives, NGOs, entrepreneurships, also help you with fundraising, management skills. I just want to help new startups, he says. So take advantage of this beautiful opportunity available on karmatribe, organizing capabilities. Next, we have a request from a certain karma surfer. That is moi, requesting Instagram help. Would you be willing to help us spread love and inspiration around the world through our karmatribe Instagram? That's right. We are putting together a media team to spread love on Instagram. So if you want to be a part of this, if you enjoy Instagram, if you have photography or even reposting skills, send me a message, please. Because, yeah, karmatribe is expanding into a large volunteer organization. We already have over 25 volunteers right now. So it's very exciting. Very exciting indeed. Next, we have an offer from Melanie Mirage offering present moment mentoring. She says, I'm offering 3 1-hour present moment mentoring sessions for anyone who needs a re-spark with life or to open up to your personal power. So, wow, this is very much along the lines of unleashing your potential. So, friends, connect with Melanie Mirage for a present moment mentoring session. Now, these favors will be posted in the post. We will add the links a little later today. But you can also find them on karmatribe.com, going to the search favors section. Next, we have a request from Natalie in Edmonton, Canada, for French or Ukrainian conversation. She says, my native language is English, and I would love to practice my Ukrainian and also learn French. If you speak either language, let's chat. I would love to FaceTime or Skype with you. Peace and love. Well, that is very beautiful. So, Ukrainians, French people, you are being called for help. And finally, we have an offer from Filipots in Santa Ana, Costa Rica, offering engineering consulting. He says, I can help you improve any process by making it faster, cheaper, easier, or more environmentally friendly. Beautiful, 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 beautiful favors today. Thank you very much, friends, for joining us. It's been a fantastic show. Joris and Sanne have been truly inspirational, and I really appreciate you guys joining us this morning. Hope you have a fantastic weekend, a great week, and unleash your potential. It's inside. You can rise up with the power of a lion and change the world in a positive way by unleashing your potential. So thank you very much and have a great day wherever you are. Love you and see you next week.